How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to MySQL tutorial series where I'll help you level up your SQL skills. Today we're tackling SQL joins, and here are the timestamps so you can pause this and jump around whenever you want. Learning joins will help you so much with interviews and on the job because real data is always split across multiple tables. My goal with this video is pretty simple. By the end, you'll understand exactly what each join does, when you would use it, and you'll be able to write clean join queries. Alright, let's get right into it. The purpose of joins is to combine columns / rows from two or more tables into a nice single result set. Many people get confused with all the different kinds of joins, and I want this video to be the one that makes it clear for you. And again, for this video and like all my other SQL videos, we're going to be using MySQL. Quick context here, we're going to be using three tables: the encounters table, the hospitals table, and patients table. The encounters table contains two foreign keys: patient ID and hospital ID. And foreign keys is a column or set of columns in a database that links data to another table by referencing that other table's primary key. So what this means is that encounters table is going to connect to hospitals table with the hospital ID. And then encounters table will connect to the patients table with the patient ID. So now that you understand that, let's hop right in and make joins a lot easier to understand. We're going to first get started off with inner join, and inner join returns only the rows where the match exists on both sides. And so for this example, we're going to be using encounters and the patients table. And so the way that they're going to connect is through the patient ID columns. So let me just show you that in action. So we're going to take this first and paste it right here because we want that table first, and we're going to give this an alias. And it's always good to give this an alias just because it's a lot easier when you're writing the query out. And we're going to take the inner join, and we're going to take the second table, which is going to be the patients table, and we'll give that a simple alias as well. We're just going to call it P. And so here's where we're going to use on. And what on does is that it's used with the join statement to define the matching criteria between the tables. And so as we already defined, the matching criteria between these tables is patient ID. So we're going to take the alias of this table first, e.patient ID, and then we're going to set it equals to p.patient ID. So that way, this query is telling us that now it knows how to connect these two tables. And since we're using inner join, it's going to connect these two tables based on what they have in common. We're going to add the semicolon here and run this. And now you're getting results from both of these tables. And one thing that I also want to point out is that inner join also equals join. It's the same exact thing. So if I just wrote join here, it would default to inner join. So if I run this, same exact result. One tip that I can give you is to use inner join when missing matches should be excluded. One thing I also want to point out is if you want to use columns from these join tables, then you're simply going to write the alias in front of the columns that you want to use from which table. And what this does is that it helps identify which column that you're using, because sometimes the tables that you're going to be inputting have the same column names. So if I want to use a column name from encounters, for example, I'm just going to take the alias that we wrote over here. I'm going to write let's say encounter ID, and let's say we want to take a column from the patients table. We're going to do the same exact thing. So let's say we just want to take payer and run that, and now you're just going to get two columns. And there we go. And doing this is just going to make your join tables a lot more readable. Now we're going to talk about left join. And what left join does is that it returns everything from the left table and matches everything from the right table when available. And if there's no match, you still get to keep everything from the left side, and the right side becomes null. So for this example, I'm just going to simply copy this whole query right over here and just change a couple things up. So I'm going to add the obvious part here, left join. And then I'm going to switch this part up with this. And I'll explain why in just a second. All right, we're going to do p.e. And I'm just switching up the aliases here because this one is coming up first, and then this one is coming up second. And To give you more of an explanation on why I switched those up, I'm going to start off with the patients table because I want all the patients no matter what in this example. And then I'm doing left join on the encounters table because I want encounters to be optional. So basically, if a patient has no encounter, then the e.encounterID column will show up as null. And I'm also going to be adding a little bit of more columns here just to show a little bit more context on patient information. So we're going to do age.years as well, or underscore years. And then if I just run this is going to result in a really big, massive table where you're not going to be able to see the null. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a where clause. I just want to see the nulls to see if this query had any effect, or the left join, if it had any effect on these tables. So we're going to do encounter ID is null. And we're going to run that. And as you can see, the encounter ID came up null. So what this means is that it's filtering only to those unmatched patients. And for this patient ID, there was no encounter ID. So that's why the left join came in handy. And to give you a little bit of a tip on this, left join is really useful for finding gaps in your data, for data quality checks, to see which values are coming up as null. All right, now we're going to talk about the right join. And right join is basically the exact opposite of left join. So for this, you keep everything on the right table, and that matches on the left side whenever it's available. So in a common workplace setting, many analysts just rewrite right join as a left join by swapping the table order because it reads a lot more consistently. And for that reason, the right join is not really used that often. So to kind of show you what it looks like, I'm just simply going to take this part of the left join query and I'm going to paste that over here. And then I'm just going to, of course, get rid of that left join, turn it into right join. And let's run that. And so what this is showing is that I'm keeping all the encounters because encounters is on the right side now. So right over here. So now this is showing all the encounters. And if there's an encounter row whose patient record is missing, patient columns will show up as null. And let's just say that I wanted to get the same exact results from this query by using the left join instead of the right join. So these results, but if we use the left join right here, if I just simply wrote left and then switched up the table order, if I had this as encounters and then this as patients, and then of course the alias is on this, reflecting whichever table is first, I would get the same exact results. All right, now we're gonna move on to full outer join. And full outer join is the same exact thing as full join. What full outer join does is that it returns all matches plus all the rows unique to the left side and all the rows unique to the right side. So the reason why I already have a query in place is because MySQL does not have a full outer join, but you can simulate it with a left join, as I did right here, and union, and then a right join. And I haven't talked about unions yet, but we'll go over that in a future video. Basically, what union does is that it merges both of these tables and it removes duplicates so matches do not appear twice. Basically the same exact thing as a full outer join, aka full join. So in this first query that you see right over here with the left join, this is going to get all the patients plus matching encounters. And then for the second query with the right join, this is going to get all the encounters plus matching patients. So let's just simply run this. And just like that, that's getting a full outer join result of patients and encounters. Moving on to cross join, and cross join is another one that you're probably not going to see that much in a workplace setting, but basically cross join returns every combination of rows between two tables. And for example, if table A has 10 rows and table B has 5 rows, cross join returns 50 rows. So this can be useful, but it can also explode your data set really fast, and it's just going to produce a bunch of rows that you probably don't need. So use this really carefully. And for this, I'm going to use a different example. I'm just going to use select, let's do star from hospitals as H, and then cross join. We're going to do cross join patients as P, and I'm going to add let's do hospital type. And then p dot pair. And again, what this is going to do is that it's going to generate all the combinations between table A and table B. And you're just going to see right over here what that looks like. And that's the result. You're going to get a bunch of the same kind of results, and just all these different kinds of combinations going on with cross join. To clean this up even more, I'm just going to add distinct so that it reduces to the unique category pairs. So as you can see, there's a bunch of category pairs that come up too often. So let's clean this up and run that. And that's a lot cleaner. One thing I want to point out is that you probably noticed that I didn't use the on clause right after I use the cross join, because on is not really necessary for cross joins. A cross join produces a Cartesian product which combines every row from the first table with every row from the second table, regardless of any condition, because there are no conditions to match. It's already doing its job by generating all combinations. So that's why you don't need to use the on for cross join. All right, now we're going to talk about self-join. A self-join is when a table joins to itself. That's useful for comparisons. I already wrote a query down here. I'm just going to break this query down. So starting right off from the top, the from patients as P1, this is the first copy of the patients table. And then I'm just going to simply join the second copy that I made for the patients table as P2. So it's the same data, but just a different nickname that's being used. And then for this example, I'm just going to use the zip3 column because I want to find pairs of patients who share the same zip area, a simple thing that I just want to compare between each of the tables. And last but not least, I'm using the and on P1 is less than P2 patient ID because I just want to prevent duplicates and any weird sort of self-matches. So what this does is that it stops a patient from matching with themselves, and then it also stops the same pair showing twice. All right, let's run this query to kind of show you what it looks like. And here are the results. So what we're seeing here is two patients who have the same exact zip3. And again, the simple takeaway from this, the easy way that you can understand self-join is that it's used to compare rows inside the same table by giving the table two different aliases. It's just a good way of comparing things. Alright, for the final part of this video, we're just going to be joining all three of the tables now. The patients table, encounters table, and hospitals table. And this is something you're probably going to do a lot when you're in a workplace setting. You're going to combine a bunch of tables together, and this is really important to know. Okay, let's start off with the first table. So we're going to do select star from encounters as E, and then we're going to join the second table, which is patients as P. And if you remember correctly, the way that these two tables connect is through the patient ID column. So we're going to take the alias, we're going to do on first, can't forget that, E dot patient ID equals P dot patient ID. And now we've connected the first two tables, but now we have to add the third table, which is hospitals. So we're going to do another join over here, join hospitals as H. And we're going to connect the hospitals table to the encounters table. So the encounters table, the way that these connect is by the hospital ID, H.hospital ID. So essentially what you're doing, you're thinking about the foreign keys and finding out which one of these foreign keys matches to the other tables. And the simple thing that we remember from before, encounters has both patient ID and hospital ID. The patient ID is the one that connects to the patients table, and then the hospital ID is the one that connects the encounters table to the hospitals table. And let's just clean this query up a little bit, make it look a little nicer and easier to understand. And I'm just going to run this right here. And now you're getting the results from all three of those tables. And from here, you can just make it a little bit more cleaner by adding columns. And again, you're just going to add the little alias, whatever letter we use. So for this example, we're using, E, P, and H, and you're simply going to take, as I mentioned before, E dot, let's say, encounter ID, and then let's do P dot patient ID, and H dot, let's say, state. Run this, and that's the result right there. A bunch of Arizona, a bunch of Florida, but these are results from all three of the tables. And one thing to keep in mind, being able to connect all the tables is really the foundation for most reporting and most dashboards, because when you're creating those, you're gonna have to be connecting a lot of tables. Before I leave you off, I know that was a lot of information, so let's just do a quick recap. Inner join gives you the matches only. Left join keeps everything on the left table, and that's the first table that you're gonna use. So it's great for finding out where there are gaps in the data. And right join is the mirror, but many people just rewrite it as left joins. So essentially, right join is not really needed. Full outer join is not built into MySQL, but you can simulate it with union. Cross join gives every combination between two tables. And self join helps you compare rows within the same table. Alright everybody, that's a wrap. If you want to get good at SQL fast, make sure you learn joins. Once you can confidently join tables, you can answer way more interesting questions than simple ones like how many rows are in this table. And it also really helps when you're doing SQL interviews for the data job that you want. And as I've done in my past SQL videos, I'm going to take all of these queries that I wrote and I'm going to put it on my GitHub page and link it below so you can copy it, work with it, and really learn from it. If this video helped you out, please like the video, subscribe, and keep tuning in because I'm going to be continuing this SQL series and we're going to keep leveling up your skills step by step. Once again, everyone, my name is Sharif and I hope to see you in the next video.